All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakudash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, without further ado, we're just gonna jump into this article. Okay, concerning this tax refunds. All right, from the IRS, which we've been saying that a lot of people, man, they keep claiming that there's gonna be a delay, a delay, a delay. The way things are looking, people might not even get their tax refunds at all. Okay, because of how bad things are getting. So it says hundreds of IRS employees are skipping work. That could delay tax refunds. Understand, in a scenario like this, something they do a lot is called damage control, where in order to avoid panic or in order to reduce chaos, all right, or the possibility of chaos breaking out as much as possible, they use certain keywords, all right. If you're not getting your taxes, they're gonna tell you, oh, it's delayed, to give you that little bit of false hope to keep you calm. No, listen, man, just don't even expect to see no taxes this year. Just have that in your mind, you know, because more than likely that's what's gonna happen. Now, we don't know what's the future holds 100%, but we do know that it's hell and destruction. Okay, and these are only the early beginning signs of it. All right. So it says the IRS building in Kansas City on January 17th, hundreds of employees are skipping work due to financial hardship, and union officials expect a surge of absence as the government shutdown continues. It says here, and this was published the 22nd, which is yesterday. All right, it says hundreds of internal revenue service employees, which is IRS, have received permission to skip work during the partial government shutdown due to a financial hardship. And union leaders said Tuesday that they expect absences to surge as part of a coordinated protest that could hamper the government's ability to process taxpayer refunds on time. All right. So here it is. They've been given permission to skip work. You think they're going to come to work? No. They're not coming until this government shutdown gets resolved, if that happens, which I highly doubt that's going to happen. You know, and a lot of people, hey, like we say, man, they look forward to this. Even people at my job, they're talking about it. They were upset. Oh, I better get my refund check. You know, people have their eye on it. So when they don't get it and things are only getting worse, all right, because the scriptures talk about how the love of many shall wax cold, all right, and because of their pride there shall be great tribulation. And when there's a time of trouble, which is coming up like never before, people are not trying to hear anything, man. All right. It says um the Trump administration last week ordered at least 30,000 IRS workers back to their offices, where they have been working to process refunds without pay. It was one of the biggest steps the government has taken to mitigate the shutdown's impact on Americans' lives. But IRS employees across the country, some in coordinated protests, others out of financial necessity, won't be clocking in, according to Tony Reardon, president of the National Treasury Employees Union. There's several local union officials. And several local union officials. The work action is widespread and includes employees from a processing center in Ogden, Utah, to the Brookhaven campus on New York's Long Island. Um, says here the move is the leading edge. It says the move is the leading edge of pushback within the IRS, and it signals the potential of civil servants to take actions that could slow or cripple government functions as the shutdown's political stalemate continues in Washington. U.S. Department of Agricultural meat inspectors have begun to call in sick, and that's going to lead to, in turn, more people being sick. All right. It says Transportation Security Administration sick outs at airports have been rising, and federal law enforcement agencies say the shutdown is increasing stress among agents and affecting investigations. Ooh, all right. So, like we said, this is affecting, and now you understand when the Lord says there's gonna be pestilence, all right, and famines and all of that. It's gonna affect these truck drivers who bring the foods to your supermarkets. It's gonna affect the FDA who inspect your foods. It's gonna affect the CDC. It's gonna affect everything. They're gonna use it as an excuse to try and start increasing and releasing this chaos. They are definitely angry that they're not getting paid, and maybe some of them are angry enough to express their anger this way, said Reardon, whose union represents 150,000 employees at 33 federal agencies and departments. But these employees live paycheck to paycheck and they can't scrap up the dollars to get to work or pay for their child or for childcare. So really, for some of them who have savings accounts, or have family members and stuff, they're more than likely that's where they're at right now. But they can only do that for so long. Okay, you can only rely on your family for so long. You can only have enough in your savings for so long. It's gonna get to a point where you're not gonna have anything left, and when that happens, well, it's a wrap. It's a day in shutdown life. Free mac and cheese, clean closets, empty bank accounts. It says not receiving pay for more than a month has taken a toll on employees across the government, but especially on those who are not in high salary jobs. The employees summoned back from furlough to process tax refunds are paid between 25,800 and 51,000 a year. It says depending on their seniority, IRS employees will miss a second paycheck Monday if the government does not reopen this week, which we're not seeing that happening. Okay, so it says I'm at the point where I cannot afford to go to work, said Marissa Scott, 31, an IRS customer service representative who is out on hardship leave. Scott lives outside Kansas City and drives 98 miles round trip, all right, to work each day. I cannot afford to fill my gas tank. Scott, who has worked at the IRS for 4 years, says she typically helps as many as 50 people a day with their returns during tax season, including U.S. troops stationed overseas. She said the shutdown could delay funds or refunds for months, and without employees like her on the job, it's going to be a disaster all around. All right, she's basically telling you you're not getting your money back, and when people don't get their money back, you'll just see. Just stay tuned and you'll see how they act. All right, because like we said, man, America's a corporation that runs on transactions. Everything is transaction based in America. People are not used to having hardships like that. Okay, now who knows? This might affect the grid. It might affect electricity. It might affect all those different things. All right, but people are not used to such hardships. Okay, so when it gets so difficult, they're gonna start losing their minds. Okay, and it only takes a few people to start, and everybody's gonna join in. This is what they're looking for. So it says many of the IRS employees who are choosing not to come to work despite getting called back are taking advantage of a provision in the union contract that allows them to miss work if they suffer a hardship during a shutdown, according to the labor groups. That could mean a blown car tire, an empty tank or empty gas tank, or a child care bill. I have fielded no less than 30 to 40 calls, emails, or text messages about hardship requests from employees daily since Thursday, said Shannon Ellis, president of the NTEU's Chapter 66 in Kansas City. In Andover, Mass., more than 100 customer service representatives, electronic filing workers, and other IRS employees plan to use the hardship exemption and won't report to work, said Gary Caribbean, chapter president of a local union. I would say a majority of employees are calling out on their hardship, Caribbean said. I am getting reports whole teams are requesting out. One person told me I'm the only one on my team here, but how long is that going to last? If you're the only one on your team there and them swarming you with such loads of work, eventually you're also going to feel the hardship and you're going to bounce. The union lacks an official head count of absent workers. The IRS declined to share data on hardship exemptions, but staffers in Fresno, California, Austin, Andover, Kansas City, and Atlanta, among other locations, say they won't be showing up for work, Reardon said. Duncan Gauss, who has worked for 24 years at the IRS call center in Indianapolis, said more workers are requesting hardship leave as they learn it exists. Oh man, this is a recipe for disaster. It says the more this goes on and the tougher it is to get to work, They simply cannot afford it, said Giles, president of NTEU, Chapter 49, noting that about 30 of the 170 employees who have been called back to work in Indianapolis have requested the exemption. Every single person wants to be at work. They want to help the American taxpayer, but we have to pay for gas and childcare. Wow, indentured federal servant. Says the hardship, and now wait till these protests start turning violent. All right, it's only a matter of time, man. We keep telling you. It says the hardship exemption allows IRS employees to have to use sick days to be absent from work, and managers must approve the exemptions. Lawmakers also have heard reports of IRS staffers intending to miss work and are planning to ask Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin for details when he testifies on Capitol Hill this Thursday, a House aide said. The IRS declined to say how many workers are on hardship leave, and spokesman Matt Lee said the IRS is continuing to work to prepare for the beginning of filing season next week. Which, what are you going to work with when all your employees are gone? The reason that they decline to say how many workers are on hardship leave is because it's a whole lot. It's damn near their whole thing. Okay, it's a whole lot of workers, man, and they don't want to scare people or make people panic. What's up? Oh, Satan's just playing games. All right. Well, let me just. Yeah, I think I'll end it here. All right. I don't want this computer to start acting up. Okay, but hey, this is what's coming, man. This is what's coming. All right. So prepare yourselves, man. Don't this whole tax thing, which we told you, man. It's about to hit, man. It's about to hit. So Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Shemel Shai and Shalom.